Hello everybody and welcome to Alternative Interactions. I'm Gary. Will you join me again for another walk? And I'm back in the forest. You can hear the birds. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. There should be less people about today, and with my new microphone the sound will be perfect, so we have no worries about that, which is wonderful. Really pleased. So please like, share and subscribe to the channel. It really helps the growth and I do appreciate your support. It's a very bright day today, so there might be a bit of glare on the camera at times, and well, it's nature, isn't it? Lovely. We've had some really nice weather. It's been a very warm spring for a change in the UK. So I guess things are changing. There's still plenty of chemtrailing going on, but they seem to have changed in the fact that the trails don't necessarily last for quite as long as they used to. Obviously there's been a little bit of controversy. I mean, I don't know why the people are just waking up to it, but the government's talking about using planes to spray the sky to dim the sun out, and that's a novel concept, isn't it? They haven't really been doing that for a long while, have they? You know, it's just ridiculous, really. It's almost as if they can't hide it anymore, so they're going to make it public. And even when it's made public, the public can't see it, and will argue. I'm not on Facebook or fake book. I was removed from there basically several years ago by the moderators and the people who decided that I wasn't telling the truth. Very interesting, the local newspaper, when I sent them via Facebook a peer-reviewed medical journal article and asked them to look into it, reported me for spamming. You learn your lessons, don't you? So yeah, so the Eastern Daily Press, or the EDP, Eastern Evening News, same organisation in Norfolk, totally toxic, totally taken over. They used to be a good newspaper, actually. It used to be a very good newspaper, and now they're just another mouthpiece garbage thing that's not even worth wrapping your fish and chips in. But I digress. So my missus is on Facebook, and so she'll sometimes sort of like show me the odd thing, and somebody in the local area, there's a local area or a town just down from us, Alsham, a way away, and they put up pictures of the sky being chemtrailed. I mean, today there are planes up, but there's no trails coming from them as such. They look more like contrails, but I'm sure they're not, because they're zigzagging up and down. But these were proper chemtrails, and the lady or whoever put the post up, you know, was like, you know, look at this, you know. And something I call the Mr. Smith effect came in. Now, on the Matrix we have Mr. Smith, and obviously Mr. Smith could take over any body it wanted to, and so all the NPCs around were fundamentally able to be taken over by the Mr. Smith, who could jump into their body, change into Mr. Smith, obviously because it's a film and people need the visual reference of it, and become Mr. Smith. But it was very interesting that we get what I call the Mr. Smith effect from the Matrix, and you suddenly had all these people, I don't know if they're even people, shouting this post down, saying it's just condensation and the people don't know what they're talking about, and it's been like that forever, and don't they know anything, and getting very personal and very rude very quickly. And it served as a reminder to me, certainly straight away, why I'm not on Facebook. It's like, woo! And there were people obviously supporting this post, but the majority were rude, ignorant and arrogant, and were showing so. I mean, being properly rude and horrible. There was nothing nice about what they were saying, and that was very sad, but also a reminder to just how many people will fight to remain in this system, just like the Matrix. Morpheus, I think, talks to Neo and says there's many people that are not ready to wake up, and that they will fight for the status quo. It's kind of struck me that we're now entering that time. We're about to get struck with the status quo of, as we move further and further away spiritually, vibrationally, as our minds disengage further and further away from the Fibonacci sequence. It's a bit windy, hopefully the microphone's doing its job and you can hear me okay. I might take a side trail in a minute. Oh, I've got a side trail, just get out the wind because it seems to be funneling down where I'm talking. So let's see where we go to down here. There we go, that's better straight away. So we have this effect where as we change and grow and develop, then so more and more this void, this gulf will become apparent to us, and the harder it will be for these people who accept the Mr. Smith programming, regurgitate the same old stuff that they're told to say on the television, televising vision, and on the radio, the newspapers, you know, the local rags as we talk about. They really have done a number on these people. It really is 101 KGB mind control. There's no other way of putting it. It's they've been MK Ultra'd to within an inch of their lives. That's very sad, because for them to come back now, even at this stage, I think will fracture many of their minds, and I'm not sure that they will. I mean, we keep hoping. Again, Tarot Tales UK, she's done quite a few, she's dropped a few recently, and on the UK and certain subjects, and she's talking about EBSs potentially coming on and what's going on, but will these people that are so far gone now even accept an EBS or a government led propaganda into the truth? And I don't think so. It was very obvious when I was driving my taxi, the pure hatred for the Russian head of state, and they were openly wishing his demise. And I mean, that who would want or wish for anybody to not be here anymore? There's only a few individuals I can think of that the world would be a better place for, but they're likely not here anymore, are they? Let's be fair. I've got squirrels. The squirrels are very active today. I've got squirrels climbing up the trees. So as they go up the trees, it's lovely. We have grey squirrels in England. The native red squirrels, after the greys were introduced, didn't suffer very well. I think the greys had a parasite that the reds have no immunity to, and so all the native red squirrels died out basically. So we have tiny pockets of them around the UK, but fundamentally we have grey squirrels that are the invaders. So still very nice to watch, and you know, a rebalancing of nature, I guess. One thing to another, a change. Man's intervention again. So yeah, I don't know if these souls, these people, will ever be able to really make the step, take the step. It's a very difficult one. I've got some people further up I can see, and then there's a side path, so I shall take the side path because they probably won't appreciate what I'm talking about. So yeah, it's very interesting and very sad to see the comments on this Facebook post, and I do think it's very, very clear that there is a very, very long way to go, if at all. Now obviously I talk about it in a more scientific way often, with the Fibonacci sequence, which is Metatron's cube, which is the daisy of death, which is Kronos, the snake eating itself, self-defecation of themselves, and not understanding this. It's very, very sad. We have the crystalline code, Cris code, which is not sacred geometry in any way, shape or form, which is another con. As is the New Age movement. I did a little bit of, when I was doing some Janice research, that popped up, believe it or not. And I was quite surprised as to where the New Age movement came from. And it was a very strange one. I don't think its path really goes anywhere particularly apart from a dead end. We shall see. So yeah, and I know that's going to trigger some of you, but mind the trees. I know it's going to trigger some of you guys, but it's the way the research takes you, you know. Let's go down here. Yeah, it's the way the research takes you, and the things you have to look at, or don't have to look at, but the things you look at then takes you down a different road, another road, and information comes up. And the guy who created the New Age movement, sacred geometry, all that sort of stuff that came from it, probably will do a video at some point on this, because it is all connected, I guess, to everything else. It's part of the delusion and smoke and mirrors of this realm, and it's what it is. But he had two aliens or two 10-foot tall beings turn up in his room and give him the knowledge. And then there's a knock at the door, and a man turned up, and the man gave him all the information to pass on. So knowing what we knew about Project Bluebeam and all this stuff, I mean, you can say that's a bit far-fetched, Gary, but they could have projected anything into anybody's room these days. I mean, during the Iraq War, wasn't it? Yeah, the Iraq War. The Americans produced a frequency that into the minds of the Iraqis, where Muhammad appeared before them, told them to put down their weapons and surrender, and they did. So the Americans produced the Muslim God in front of the Muslims to stop them fighting them, and put their weapons down. It just shows you the power and the technology. So they could have easily drugged this guy, done anything really, made him hallucinate with a little bit of LSD and a bit of programming, subliminal sort of like information, and then all of a sudden, guy knocks on the door, gives him the blueprint, and off we go. Very clever, very clever. And obviously this guy would have been financially looked after, would have had, as if by magic, all the information that he needed, all the support that needed, the right people would have turned up at the right time. Kind of a Travistock MK Ultra system to infiltrate the research truther community, to stop them. Just had a pine cone just land right near me as I said that. Yeah, squirrels are busy today. Hopefully I won't get hit on the head by a pine cone. That was very interesting timing, wasn't it? But yeah, so again, we're looking at that. So that's a tangent and a half, wasn't it? So if we go back to geoengineering, and I have a list of the patents of cloud control. First one is 1891. So in 1891, yeah, 1891, there's a patent for weather manipulation and rain control. And there's hundreds of them after that. And we have Operation Popeye. On my Telegram group, I shared a huge list of things to look into, and I have to confess that I would say a good third of them I don't really particularly know much about, if anything. But unfortunately, 2/3 of them or 3/4 of them I did, and that's a bit sad, isn't it? Really, to know these things. Sad, I don't know if it's sad's the right word. It is sad because we shouldn't have to do these things. We shouldn't have to be looking at such things. It shouldn't be. Just shouldn't be. But yeah, but Operation Popeye was a very interesting one. I don't know if you can see me with the sun. I can't see the screen particularly well at the moment because the sun's glaring off it, so hopefully you guys can see me okay. Yeah, so Operation Popeye was during the Vietnam War, and what they did was, during the Vietnam War, they made it rain. I'll take a side bit back and head back. It's kind of a grid systemed forest. It's not natural, it's grown, it's pine, and they take the lumber from it. The ground is particularly poor for growing crops, so it's been put over to pine trees and forestry for lumber. So, but yeah, Operation Popeye, the Americans cloud seeded in Vietnam and made it rain for 4 months solidly, every day for 4 months, to try and flood out the Viet Cong. And it didn't work, obviously. But that was another one, wasn't it? It was another kind of, you know, it was actually a proxy war between China and America. You know, you won't hear that either, but it's true. You know, the Americans were fighting Chinese, and they just chose to do it in another country, Vietnam, because it didn't really matter to the Americans. I don't mean the American people, because you're lovely people. I mean those that are in charge of America. Those creatures that are in charge, have been in charge. It didn't matter to them. Life has no importance to these people. And so, look, all the Agent Orange and all that sort of stuff. Decades and decades of birth defects and issues. But there we go. There's also a very interesting one as well. I mean, these people, going back to Facebook and the weather manipulation. That's a very interesting one, this one. In the 60s, early 60s, I mean, I wasn't around then, and my family were in London. All my family comes from London originally. So I'm sort of first generation Norfolk, which is why I have 5 fingers, not webbed hands like many of the Norfolk people. That's a Norfolk joke, by the way. Lots of inbreeding. I've actually witnessed it myself, so sorry. I've actually witnessed the inbreeding myself. Very interesting, very strange. Yeah. But where was I? I lost my thread now. Going down to that image. Oh, dear. Yeah, spraying in Norfolk, early 60s, mid 60s. Good old RAF went up over Norfolk, a county which is rural, a few market towns and one city, not a big city, very pretty, nice city actually, lovely. Used to be the capital of England 1,000 years ago or so. So, you know, it's got some history, but it's not big. And the RAF sprayed chemical toxins over Norfolk. These are the people that are meant to be protecting us and looking after us. And the result was hundreds, if not thousands, of deaths from asthma, breathing problems. So the government did a scientific test using the RAF to spray toxic chemicals over us that created a huge wave of asthma and health issues. And a lot of deaths from it. And when you know things like that, history like that, and we're at this stage now where they're saying trust the army, and the army is going to look after us. Yeah, I have trust issues, because the track record ain't good. I mean, it just shows you that the army, or the armed forces, and I'm going to lump you all together, and I don't care if I upset you, will do whatever you're told to do regardless. Is that the Mr. Smith effect as well? I don't know. You tell me. But I ain't impressed. But I also understand that the majority of people in the army have been MK Ultra'd, had their minds shattered and re-put back together again to create a different kind of person to the person that went in. So I get that as well. There's always two sides to the story, isn't there? But, you know, some psychopathic people have made some very interesting decisions over the years that have never ever been in the benefit of humanity. But that also goes back to Janice. Woohoo! Let's go back to Janice again. I know it hasn't received a lot of views particularly, but for those of you guys that watched my introduction to Janice, the God of Gods, I think it kind of hit a nerve. Twilight Mist's comments were phenomenal, and I have actually obviously YouTube's a public platform, and so comments are allowed to be viewed by everybody, so I have actually put them on my channel because they're so profound and so deep, and the understanding of and where this goes to is absolutely stunning. There's another lady, so I can't remember your name, I do apologise, you're always commenting, thank you very much, you're a star. And she noticed something as well, that Janice is male and male and male and female, which is correct. But when you look at the symbology, XXXY. See, Janice is in everybody. We have two brains, two different divisions. Divide and conquer, divide and rule. It's always been the same way. And I'm sure people have said you only get true enlightenment when you actually merge the two brains together. I don't know, but we're definitely changing at the moment. And you know, again, Black Sheep Researcher, check some of his work out, because you know he's been on it a lot longer than I have. I've tried not to watch much of his stuff, to be fair. I watched the interview that he did with Sheep Farm. I watched Janice 101, and I watched a tiny bit of his latest one about Utopia, and that's been it. And it's a shame, because he's a very good show, very good researcher, bloke knows what he's talking about. But I want my research to be my research, and I want it to be my path, my journey, and have my feel about it, you know. So I won't be watching any more of his stuff, which is a real shame. But he is in my playlists. I mean, if you go onto my YouTube channel and look at my playlists, I've got playlists of some really, really good, interesting channels. A couple of them are friends. I've got little YouTube channels, Rusty and the Gimme. Very interesting little channels. And there's another one, MD, which is Jack's Fan, which is a very, very interesting one, especially if you're into your mud floods and history and that sort of stuff, because this lady really does prove that history is a crock, and the fact she's a solicitor, and shows you the deeds of houses of when they were actually sold to builders to be repurposed and redated. That's the word, that's what I was looking for. They were redated for the repurposement of and the claim of the building of the house in the late 1800s, when the houses had been there probably for 400 years previously. Another tangent, eh? Love it. But the Janice stuff is a real deep rabbit hole, and the comments on the Janice video have been some of the most thoughtful and considered that we've had, really. And that's blown me away, that the family, it just shows me how switched on you guys really are. What an awesome bunch you really are. And I really mean that. I'm not blowing smoke anywhere. You guys really are different level. Some of the concepts that we're talking about and we're bringing up are next kind of level, because the concepts that we're bringing up, particularly in the old art, when I start to decipher some of the old art and pictures and the meanings behind it, and I'm still learning. I'm no expert, trust me, I'm really no expert, but I get these knowings, downloads, channelings, and I get into a flow and I get guided into stuff. But I have done the work, and I have got hundreds, I mean, I've got 60,000 images. 60,000 images, maybe more, but certainly got 60,000 images plus of all different things, and I'm constantly adding to that library of images, and I'm constantly looking and constantly learning and growing. And this is a skill that I developed when I was watching Flat Earth British Martin Ladika. Top channel, worth watching. Has a flat a day show, which is always good fun, and a brilliant mind. And he really is, as far as I'm concerned, the father of Tartaria and the Antiquitech. But when I first watched him, he was just doing flat earth stuff and getting hammered for it, properly hammered. And again, it's interesting that he's probably on his 4th or 5th channel on YouTube. Always an indicator, that one. You know, other flat earthers who were around from the beginning with Martin never had their channels taken down, never had strikes, never had no problems whatsoever, because they're just regurgitating. They're not thinking, they're not pushing boundaries. But in the early days, Martin then started looking at the photos in Tartaria. And there's also a guy called Flat Earth British Sub. And they would put up sometimes 8 hours of photos. So you get a photo for 5-10 seconds, and another photo, 5-10 seconds, another photo, 5-10 seconds, and that, and however sad it seems, we knew there was stuff in these photos, but we didn't know what. And so we would sit there for hour upon hour upon hour looking at these photos, pausing some of the more interesting ones, trying to figure out what on earth we're looking at. And from spending hundreds of hours like that, and my then partner would email Martin with what we thought, interact with him. I mean, I never did personally. I'm terrible at the old communication and reading and writing. I'm just not interested. I'm dyslexic. I find it difficult. And so if I can get somebody else to do that kind of thing, I always will, you know. But I do answer everyone on my YouTube channel personally. I do. And I run my Telegram channels personally. It's always me, 100%. But we would look at these images and we started to learn and develop. And we could start to see things, patterns. And with Martin's brain, obviously doing it far more than we were, living it, some major breakthroughs came in. But it's a skill that you develop over time. It doesn't happen like overnight unless you're really gifted. If you are, well done, thank you very much. Please send me some more information if you have got it when you're looking at this stuff. Just joking. But yeah, it's it's a very interesting situation where we're looking at all these thousands of photographs, and we were finding information hidden in them. And so I have that kind of background, and so it's a bit off the beaten path. The main path's over there, but it's nice to go off grid a bit, isn't it? Why walk the same path that everybody else does if you can get away with it? So I'm back at the car already. Oh, that was quick. Oh, it's not really. It's 35 minutes. Wow. I'll just pop down here a second. Yeah, so a little side path, probably goes nowhere. Yeah, it goes nowhere. So we would look at all these images, and it's given me a foundation to really start looking at and see things. And I don't always see things straight away. Sometimes I have to look at stuff 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. That's fine, you know. But with you, the FEME, observing some of this stuff, when another lady, you know, thank you very much, noticed that there's a 12 on one of the images on Janice's head. 12 months, 12 disciples, 12, very interesting number. And we will be diving into that one as well. It's all part of the Janicisms as such. So yeah, it's a fascinating. I've got a little side track here I can get off. Got some people with a dog just in front of me for the last couple of minutes. And so these old photos that I'm looking at and observing are they're speaking to me because I've done the work and looked at stuff, which is really fascinating, and it's quite interesting. So yeah, there's a lot more to come on Janice, a lot more, because Janice connects to the Fibonacci, is the moon, is all sorts of stuff. The significance of the horseman of the apocalypse being Apollo Pharmakia, the first seal was broken. Very interesting, Apollo. I wonder if you can guess who Apollo really is and who he's connected to, because what's happened in history is that all the names have been changed and a new energy comes out, but it's not, because they're not gods, they're just names that one overseer has created or got a group of people to follow and push. Same group of people who run the banks, same group of people are pushing all this stuff onto us. They're all pushing it onto us. They're pushing all the darkness. It's the same group of people, same small group, and they all work for the one man, but they like to create different entities, different energies, always trying to push the boundaries. Something new. Something new, that'd be Janice, wouldn't it? So thank you very much, everybody. Please like, share and subscribe, and thank you for all your support. Really do appreciate it. Love, light and blessings, everybody, and I'll catch up with you very soon. Bye bye.